Pittsburgh on the horizon next week. You're going to be frustrated, and there's a lot of things the Cowboys have to pick up, but ultimately, this is the first game in quite some time you can actually walk away with a couple positives.
You know, we got 4 sacks, man. It's been a while since these Dallas Cowboys have gotten 4 sacks. It's been a while since we talked positive about our defense. That is the one thing I can say. We knew that we would struggle on offense with the new quarterback, and they were, I think, 4 for 16 on third down. They just couldn't sustain anything. And then he had a couple of times where he held the ball a little too long, and they hit him with a few blitzes. And I'm going to turn this thing over to Stanback and let him do his thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some positives we can take away from the game. Unfortunately, that's not what most people want to hear right now.
Nope.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're 2-7?
Yeah.
Something like that now. So the record's not good. This team is not playing very well. We definitely have some injuries. But, I mean, listen up. Injuries are injuries. Every team has to go through it. We face more than the most, but the guys have to step up. We have to find a way. The coaches have to find schemes that work. The players that step into positions have to find plays. They have to find ways to make plays. They have to do their job. Diggs stepped up today, made some plays on some bad Wentz passes. But it wasn't enough. The defense showed up a lot better. But to you guys' point, there was absolutely zero offense. Zeke goes another game without sniffing 100 yards. Offense that can't get going as far as throwing the ball. We spent the whole game in 2 tight ends, because we were worried about the blocking scheme. It was a bad showing.
So now whenever you talk about the struggles on offense, and of course you start with the injuries, you start with overall looking at that offensive line. Terrence Steele on the right side had a struggle today, really stopping anybody on the Eagles' front seven. However, whenever you look at this team overall, was there a lot of frustration with the play calling in this game? Because you were moving the ball, running it, at least initially with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard from time to time. But what did you guys think about the play calling from Kellen Moore?
I don't like how we sometimes we'll start out with running the ball. We was dominating. And all of a sudden we come up with this reverse late in the game. And we talked about it here on the podium. It's like this could be a game-changing deal. You do a triple reverse with CeeDee Lamb.
Check vetoing that play and saying, no, run the ball. Right? No, do this. No, do that. And I don't think McCarthy has done that, and he had opportunities to do that, which would have put them in a better situation today.
Do you think maybe there felt a little bit of pressure on that sideline to try and do these new things? Of course, with Ben DiNucci, a 7th-round rookie quarterback in there, do you think they just went a little bit too far in maybe some of the scheming?
I think so. I mean, I think we saw, 3 different quarterbacks today? Mm-hmm. If I'm correct, I think we saw Ben DiNucci. We saw Zeke. I almost called him Zeke the Freak. Can't call him that right now. Ezekiel Elliott. And then we also saw Wilson, I think, right? If I'm correct. So we saw 3 different quarterbacks, and one of them only was title quarterback. So I think they did try to do some things outside of themselves today. One thing I was disappointed in is they did not get him out the pocket as much as I thought. They didn't run him on nakeds. They didn't run him on bootlegs. They didn't run him on sprint outs. Any of these things that would, again, and we talked about in the pregame show, would have made blocking a lot easier. It would have made him feel a lot more comfortable in terms of the ability to run pass option.
I know you may didn't want to put in the second-team quarterback. He just got here, so you can't,
Speaking about Garrett Gilbert.
You just can't throw him in there. But you still have to use what you have in your quarterback. And that's the ability to get outside. Yep. That's the ability to run the options, the run pass options. We didn't do enough of that. This kid got comfortable at times. Like I say, he had a certain rhythm. We ran, we threw a couple of times. He got a few completions. But then all of a sudden, it seemed like we call a negative play. They would create a negative play defensively, and here we're off the field. 4 and 16 on third down. That shows a lot of inconsistency, which we expected. We all sat here on pregame. Yep. You, Church, myself, and the young lad here. And we can't have that. Going forward, you cannot let these guys have negative plays.
And you look at Ben DiNucci, and we talked about it all throughout the week. You can't have him throw the ball as much as we had seen Dak Prescott and Andy Dalton throw the football, because overall you're going to not have as much success. 21 of 40 pass attempts for Ben DiNucci today. Whenever you have a 7th-round draft pick at rookie throwing the ball 40 times, that means either one, you were down the majority of the game, but this is a game you led at halftime. You just saw this offense really go away from running the football, I thought, a little bit too early, Isaac.
Is literally the opposite of what you wanted to do. Literally the opposite of what you wanted to do. The last thing you wanted to do was come out here and throw the ball 40 times with Ben DiNucci. right? It's the last thing you wanted to do, but yet you came out and did it, right? And he got lucky on a number of plays, right? There were some very, very ill-advised throws that he had late on the sidelines, right, where he's throwing the Brett Favre sidearm and no-mo pitches. I don't know some of those things that are going on, but he got lucky on those. But, you know, you had an opportunity and you had momentum on the ground game. And for whatever reason, we felt the need to go away from it. And I think we saw this earlier in the season as well, even when Dak was present, right? When we had a running game going.
Yes.
What, for whatever reason, you know what? The running game's going well, but you know what? I need to throw the ball, right? You know, because I'm Kellen Moore and I want to show that I have these schemes. So, again, I'm coming at Kellen Moore and I'm also coming at Mike McCarthy because, Mike McCarthy, you have the power to veto all this. You could have said, no, we have momentum. We're in the game. There's no reason why we should be throwing the ball 40 times today when we were always in this game.
Because your defense was playing well.
Yep.
And I said, and we all said, Carson Wentz was the key. This dude threw 2 interceptions.
And had 2 fumbles.
Yeah, we should have had this game just off his error alone because our defense played good enough for us to be in that position. And we didn't do it. Once again, and I'll repeat it. Yes, we got a young quarterback. We have a young offensive lineman at certain positions. We have new guys on defense. But as bad as the Eagles played, a lot of times we didn't put ourselves in good positions as a team.
Yeah, and overall, you look at some of the final stats here for this one. You